Well, today we're going to take some simple materials and make a simple little shelf. At the end of the video and in photos on the blog post, I'll show you another shelf made just like this that's all dressed up with some stuff on it, and it looks really cute. Stay tuned and see how quick and easy this is to make. Alright, so we are going to start our shelf by making the back. And normally I would make this out of wood, but I want to get this project done today, and I realized of all the pieces of wood that I don't have one the right size for this. So I'm going to show you an alternative. This is the back of a tablet. This is the back of a Dollar Tree tablet. In fact, I use tons of those little mini yellow legal pad things. I use those to take notes when I'm making videos. So I go through a bunch of these. I always save the backs. Every single back of these I save because they're heavy, they're thick. So I've cut a 1-inch strip off, and I've cut a 1-inch piece off that 1-inch strip. Now personally, I don't think it's heavy enough to use just one piece. So I am going to create a thicker slice of wood, or a thicker slice of cardboard. I should kind of toothpick out. So I've got, and this is thick grab tacky, which I now have all over the bottle. Trying to hurry here because I'm running way behind, and I spent like 45 minutes looking through all of my stashes of wood, trying to find a piece of wood that I was pretty sure I should have. Now, as is normal, I'm going to put a couple of drops of super glue, just a little bit there. I am also going to clamp this though. Now, we have to line up the long edges, but we don't have to line up this short one. Use my tray to help. And you know, we probably don't actually have to clamp it, but I'm going to. I've got binder clips, also from Dollar Tree, and some pieces of jumbo craft stick. I'm going to, and I do the jumbo craft stick on each side because it prevents my clips from making dents in the cardboard. I do this with wood also if I'm going to glue wood. A lot of times you'll see me put something like this. It also allows me to give even pressure over a longer surface than the width of my binder clip. Alright, so this needs to dry. When that glue is at least dry enough that it doesn't move around on me. When the glue is dry, I'll be back and we'll move on to the next. Alright, so this glue is dry. I just cut the backing cardboard off with a pair of scissors. So now we need to make some markings on this, because it's much easier when we've got markings to get everything where we want it. Actually, this is going to be a better pencil because it's got a finer point on it. Let's see if I can get my ruler out. My table is a disaster right now. Alright, so we are going to draw a line down the middle. And then we're going to draw another line about halfway down from there, trying to keep this pretty straight. And now we need to draw a line down here. Alright, so we need to we're going to put another shelf on this, add our shelf, and we're going to add some little coat hooks. So I've already cut these because I had visions of them flying all over the table. I used some wire cutters. Whoops, I only have part of my lights on. And what these are, they are these fancy toothpicks that you can buy. And I cut them off right here. But before I cut them, I like to sand the top of these because I have found these are pretty smooth, but some of them are really rough on the end. And also the ends never take the paint the same as the rest unless you sand it off. So that's our fancy toothpicks, our coat hooks. I cut 2 really thin slices of this, and here's another piece of this. This is a Dollhouse 1/12 scale molding. I will try to put a link in the blog post to a similar product on hobbybuildersupply/miniatures.com, just so you can see what I'm talking about, what it is, and then you can buy it wherever you buy your Dollhouse stuff. And then I also cut a 1.5 inch long piece of a regular sized craft stick. So, and excuse me, my nose is running today for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, I am going to glue my shelf on first, which means we need to put a bead of glue. And since I am painting this is why I can get away with using the cardboard on the back and such. If I was going to be trying to stain this, obviously I would have had to wait until I got to town to get a piece of wood. Now we're going to put 3 things on here at once. We're going to put this shelf down, and I put my dots of super glue on it. I want this to ride right at the top of that little line I just drew, and hopefully I'm getting this pretty straight. Now, I really did just do that, didn't I? And this is another spot where if you were staining, you would have to stain your wood before you did this. Another one. And be sure you get glue on both flat sides of this, because this will help to keep everything nice and secure. Now, turn this so I can see it, and I'll take this extra toothpick. I want to get out as much of this excess glue as I can, because I don't want those big lumps from the glue in here. We can have some extra glue, but not that much. But running that bead of glue along there, that will help hold everything. Alright, now, normally I would use, my pin vise for the next step, but I can't find my pin vise. It's still missing in action. But I've got some small drill bits. And I'm going to try and do this without waiting for my glue to dry. Very carefully. I've even done this on basswood without the pin vise. I have no idea what I did with that. It makes me mad too because I have a whole bunch of drill bits with it. Not quite. There, all the way through. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball. I should probably have marked these, but I didn't. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Trying to keep these as straight as I can, which is easier if you're not trying to do a video, because if you're not trying to do a video, you can be looking directly down, which is where I've got the camera sitting, so you guys have the better view. That's why a lot of times on videos I get things crooked. Yeah, that's crooked, but that's okay. I will show you when we get this all finished. I will show you the one that I had already done that's actually put together a little bit better. And I'll show you one idea for finishing it off. Oops. There we go. There. As much of that as I can. Well, that's already dripped glue all over everything, so you know, I'm going to actually drip just a drop of super glue on each one of these holes. Now, be careful that you have the hold of your little toothpick by the end. Put in the glue and force it down in that hole. If I had all of my drill bits that are with my pin vise, I would have a better size. And now this glue needs to dry. So I'm going to set it here. As warm as it is where I live right now, this should dry fairly quickly. So when this glue is dry, I'll be back and we'll talk about how to finish this, and I'll show you the other one that I made earlier. Alright, so the glue is pretty much dried now, so I'm going to show you painting this, and then I am going to finish up by showing you one that I found the other day when I was looking through a box of stuff. This is actually a project I had made many years ago for the first time, and did it for a swap when I used to belong to a lot of Dollhouse miniature swap groups. And we just paint this, and then when it's painted, after the paint dries, I would recommend putting a probably a satin or a gloss finish on will look the best. And since this is paperboard or cardboard on the back, it will definitely need 2 coats today. But once we get the paint, and my paint has a gunk in it. There's our first coat of paint on this one, and let me set this to the side and show you one that I did several years ago. I was actually condensing things in my office in craft room the other day, and I found a box of stuff I had made, extras that I had made for swaps, and that's why I decided to do this. But this one's got the wood on the back. I just made some little bead bottles and glued up on the top, and I think this is adorable. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you make one, be sure and share a picture with me. If you haven't found the Facebook group, the link is always in the description box. I'd love to have you come talk to us on Facebook. It's a great place to share pictures and to get quick advice, and it's probably the fastest way to talk to me. So I will talk to you later. Bye.